All right, everybody. Hey, this is Sherman Ray, and this is our first broadcast of the Nevada Conservative Show. Um, this is of all days that we could start this, right? Um, so I want to, folks, if you see the headlines right now, President Donald J. Trump has been found guilty on all 34 counts in a Manhattan courtroom. Everything from taking out the dog to looking at the American people and saying, "Hey, I want to make America great." And that's pretty much the way it was. If many of you have been following this court case over the last few weeks, President Trump has been just fighting for literally his life on trying to say that he's innocent. Alvin Bragg, who's the district attorney over in New York, ran on a campaign saying that he was going to get Trump. The judge who was presiding over the proceedings, he also ran saying he was going to get Trump. And lo and behold, they did. Boy, I'll tell you, it's been a crazy, crazy day. Let's back up, folks. I want to tell you a little bit about what's going on. So, President Trump was brought up. He was indicted, a few weeks back, on charges that and that we didn't even know about. We had no idea what he was being charged with, but and throughout the trial that they had. They brought up people, one after the other. They brought up this man right here, Mr. Cohen, Michael Cohen, and they said, "Hey, guess what, Michael? You'll be the guy that everybody will trust." And lo and behold, during the testimony, Mr. Cohen said, "Hey, I've ripped off the Trump administration for the tune of over $100,000. Yes, I'm a liar, but hey, guess what? In this particular case that you're trying to get Trump on, I'm telling the truth." And so his testimony, along with Stormy Daniels, she of porno fame, was enough to sway people that they were doing the right. But then that wasn't enough. We have the judge who was in this case. His name is Merchan. He gave the jury instructions, and what his instructions was to you could not convict Donald Trump solely on Mr. Cohen's testimony, but because he is a co-conspirator with Mr. Trump, that you can use it as a little bit of something, but you can't use it as the sole thing. And so here's the problem we have with this whole thing, is that one, during the trial, President Trump was not given the opportunity to say anything about it. There was a gag order on him. Number two, he was not given a chance to even find out what he was being charged with throughout the entire trial, folks. Here's the thing about it. Throughout the entire, usually when you're going for trial, they'll say, "Hey, we're putting you on trial for this, that, and the other thing," and then you mount your defense, and you try to, and then the state has to prove that you were guilty of this, that, or the other thing. Well, that didn't happen in this case. This judge right here, Mr. Merchan, basically said, "Hey, we're going to keep it a secret." The prosecuting attorney said, "Hey, we'll keep it a secret until the end of the case." That's when Judge Merchan gave orders to the jury to that they gave them three choices. You can give three choices: either he was tax evasion, bookkeeping, or he did something with this money. And so you'd think, okay, well, that's still not too bad, because Mr. Trump has been he's throughout this entire thing, he's been advocating that he's been innocent, so this shouldn't be a bad thing. Well, unfortunately, that did not happen, folks. During the end of when the judge was giving the jury their instructions, he told them, he said, "Hey, guess what? Don't worry about you all having to agree on anything. You don't have to do that, guys. you can agree on this one, you can agree on this one, it sounds like Oprah Winfrey. You can agree on this one, and you can agree on this one, and you can say this, and we'll say all of them are, he's convicted on all of them. What just happened? I was watching TV where they were talking to Judge Jeanine Pirro on Fox News. I wish I had the tape on it. But at the end of when they handed down the guilty plea, she was almost ready to cry. And it wasn't that she was crying for that Mr. Trump got in trouble or anything like that. She was crying because of this guy. This guy. She was crying because this guy right here took his office as a judge, as an impartial jurist, as an impartial person, and he did everything he could to spoon feed the jury instructions that would inevitably guarantee the outcome of guilty on Mr. Trump. Now, here's the problem we're having with this whole thing, folks, and I hope you've been sticking around long enough on this to understand that Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States, was found guilty today in a Manhattan courtroom. And what Democrats have done is they've taken our justice system and they've done something with it that has never been done before. They've created a third world country justice system. As some people have said on other news outlets, that Vladimir Putin is probably just giddy right now. He's just jumping up and down because of what has happened today. That in order to keep power, Democrats have done anything and everything they could do to Donald Trump. And had it not been, here's the scary part about it, folks, is Donald Trump is a billionaire. And he's been able to defend himself. He's got money to burn. He can do anything he wants. He could last years and years and years through litigation. And yet they were able to get to him. Finally, they were able to get to him. Can you imagine what would happen to a person like you or me? Once the verdict was handed down that Donald Trump was guilty, his hotline to his website blew up. The WinRed website blew up. These were donation sites for the president. And for good reason, because Americans, whether they're Republicans or whether they're independents, libertarians, all understand what just happened. A man was railroaded. He was railroaded to such an extent that nobody ever thought they would ever get Trump, because guess what? They've just never been able to twist the system enough to get him. But they've done it. But Democrats have done it. And if they could do it to Trump, they could do it to you. They could do it to me. So I'm asking you right now, folks. I'm asking you, as red-blooded Americans, as people who believe in this country, to start thinking about what you're going to do when you vote come November. We are in a place right now in America where we cannot afford to have Democrats in power again, ever. Not just this election cycle, or they can be a dog catcher or anything like that. They've already proven what they're going to do, folks. So I want you to understand something, and I'm going to say something very radical, but it's all right. You'll get over it. There is a reason why we don't allow Germany to have their own military anymore. There's a reason, and that's true. We don't allow them to have a military anymore. There's a reason why we don't let Japan have their own military anymore. It's because they've already proven that they cannot be trusted with power. The Germans try to take over the world. The Japanese did the same thing. Democrats are exactly the same way. I'm going to say it and as a person who I've influenced over a lot of people, I want you to understand this. Democrats are not your friends. They've never been your friends. There's never been such thing as a good Democrat. That's like saying there's a good Nazi. Okay? There's a good KKK member. There are not good Democrats anywhere on this planet. Now, there are people who are part of the Democrat Party who are not, they're not really Democrats. They're people, they're followers. Okay, we're talking about the leadership of the Democrat Party. So I want to preface this I want to preface this by saying we're talking about the leadership of the Democrat Party, the ones who have the power and want to keep that power. They've never been our friends. Ever since they killed Lincoln, started the KKK, started segregation, racism, Jim Crow laws, all that stuff. They've never been our friends. And now all of a sudden, you have Republicans who are saying, well, these are my friends, and they lock arms with them. So I'm not talking to the run-of-the-mill Democrat here now, okay? I'm not talking to you, because if you're a Democrat, you're probably going to stay a Democrat. I'm talking to Republicans here. You cannot turn your back on them. You cannot trust them. I don't hear any Democrats out there going, oh my gosh, something terrible just happened to America. I don't hear any Democrats saying that. What I hear Democrats saying right now is, yeah, we got him. Woohoo! Jumping up and down. Instead, Democrats should be doing this. Oh my gosh, what just happened to our country? What just happened to our justice system? But you don't hear that. When the verdict came down that Donald Trump was guilty, not just on one or two charges, but on count after count after count, the people on MSNBC, CNN, all these liberal shows were jumping up and down instead of saying, oh my gosh, this is a sad day for America. Why? Because a former president of the United States was indicted and found guilty of a felony. That's a sad day in America, guys. We would never do that to Democrats. We would never say, oh, great, I'm glad that happened to that person. No, we would say this is a sad day in America. That's why we know that there's something wrong. So, what should we do moving forward? Okay. We should do this moving forward. Get involved. Donate. If you've been not supporting a Republican, conservative candidate this election cycle, do everything you can to do that. If you have a voice, if you have a platform that you can go out and start telling people about what's going on, use it. And not just use it, don't be wimpy about it, you guys. You need to come out full-throated, because now you're talking about the rest of our country now. We need to take back our country because we've allowed it to go down this path. And the reason why it's gone down that path is because we've not been vocal. Now, we're not saying that you've got to be Donald Trump, because there's only one Donald Trump, okay? But if you have a platform, you've got a YouTube channel, you've got a Twitter handle, you've got whatever you've got, you use it to talk about conservative causes. Don't allow another Democrat to win a public office. And if you are going to run for office this next election cycle, tell your friends, tell us here at the Nevada Conservative, because we will let the world know about you. Okay, we're going to do everything we can to get Republicans, conservatives elected, and to get every Democrat out of office, because they cannot be trusted. I'm just telling you that right now. So once again, folks, the main headline today was that Donald Trump was found guilty of 34 felonies, and guess what? It's not going to end there, you guys. Come June 11th, they're going to tell him the penalty phase and how much jail time that he could possibly face. And I'm telling you right now, you heard it here first. I've been talking about this for like the last week. If you think Democrats are not going to sentence him to the maximum on every count, you're fooling yourself. Okay? These people are the same people who would, so they're treating him like he's not like a person here, folks. I'm almost done here. They're treating him like he's not a person. They did the same thing in slavery days. They would just look at a slave, and they would lift up his teeth, and they would look at his hoofs. For the women, they'd check them all out, and then they would say, okay, I'll give you $5 for this one. Okay? These are not your friends, you guys. So if you think that this judge, this Merchan guy, is going to go light on Donald Trump, maybe give him house arrest or give him probation, you're wrong. They're probably going to give him the maximum sentence, and then they're going to say, okay, until we can do something about this, because there's going to be an appeal process. He's probably going to make sure he doesn't go on the campaign trail. They're probably going to give him house arrest, or they'll give him something very onerous that he can't do anything about it. Okay. Anyways, this has been Sherman Ray, and this is Nevada Conservative News. I hope, folks, that you get on board. We're going to start doing this from now until the election comes on. So check us out. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, Instagram, and now we're here on YouTube, so you can check us out. Okay. We'll see you later, folks. Bye-bye.